My sister is playing Nina's video. This happened in the what they call it, Clubhouse, last week, I believe. So this is like instruction. You know, like when there's a burning building, there's catastrophe going on. Somebody is carrying microphone, police especially, standing in front. Everybody come out or giving direction. Do this, do this. This is what how you will look at the next audio that we're going to play. It's from Nina's. They are giving you instruction, precise instruction, direction. That's why we say share this thing to your children. We don't want our youths to be killed. We don't want anything evil to happen to our youths. So we want them to do anything they want to do in the right way. The right way, the right way. There is right way. Internationally acceptable. You need information. Send these things out to our youths. You will be saving their lives. Even those that are in evil forest in Alibo and Andibo, those ones that have taken themselves inside the evil forest, I said they're looking for Biafra inside the evil forest. Biafra is not located inside the evil forest. What you have inside that forest is 10-headed demons getting to take you out. We want you to come back home. Tell our youths, they are your brothers, they are your cousins, tell them to come back home. There's no need to be inside the bush. Inside the bush. There are scorpions and every bad thing inside bush. Come back to the house. There is a way to do it on the table. We are civil people. This is 2024. There are ways things are done the right way. We are intelligent people. We are smart people. We don't need to be inside the bush running up and down like please, we are begging you people. Thank you. Please go ahead, my sister.
Is a system that refuses to reason and the people that refuse to listen. Because if the people had listened all this while, they would have found better answers to the situation that is now overwhelming them. Nina's had those answers and actually made the answers available in a manner that will have solved all these problems. At the time in 2020, we rolled out the force majeure to say, let's leave elections alone and go to solve these problems. The people did not listen.
Nope.
The government did not reason. Now, the two sides are in distress. The ones who want to see change. The government doesn't see anything. They have no problem at all. Every month, they gather and share trillion plus. And as they are sharing, the senators are sharing, the 36 state governors are sharing. Now the local government chairman too, 812 governments gather every month to share. Of course, the MDAs and all the bureaucracies they create are those all those three tiers and all those three arms. But we can see that the executive is now the head of a trinity, the trinity of executive, legislative, and judicial arms of government. What should have been the checks and balances? What should have been the separation that will make sure that everybody gets what is due to them in the system and in the union has been more or less washed away by a rapacious federal government with flawed characters in the other two arms, hopelessly flawed characters in the other two arms. You see what the Supreme Court has become. You see what the kind of, even Robert Stamp is now a better evil to deal with compared with what Godswill Akpabio and his Senate have become in the hands of this executive. And so, unless we become clearer in our minds to define the change we seek and the mechanism for obtaining it, We must know what we are rejecting. We must know what we want in place of what we are rejecting. We must know where we are now and where we want to get to. For those who are planning protests or revolution, whatever they call it, this is the time to pull back and define the change you seek. Everybody can see there's corruption everywhere. And you just jump out and say you want an end to corruption. How? With a constitution that creates massive avenues for corruption and comprehensively protects the beneficiaries of grand corruption by the immunity provisions, it put in place. You say you want an end to insecurity. You want an end to mass impoverishment. But you are not asking, how did we come about this insecurity? NINAS has an answer, that it is on account of the unitary constitutional arrangement that put the arms and ammunition on the exclusive list that makes it impossible for those who live in that insecurity to organize their own security. And no matter who becomes president, no matter how well-intentioned such a person may be, no matter how desirous such a person may be to see an end to, it's not going to work, because the constitutional arrangement makes it impossible. As it is with insecurity and corruption that the constitution creates and protects, so it is with all the other things that everybody is lamenting, including bad leadership, bad governance. The electoral process is centralized. So INEC can sit in Abuja and decide what will happen everywhere, irrespective of how 23 elections, presidential elections particularly. And so every single thing, we have looked at all the demands that the people who are talking about protests putting forward. All of those things they want change are flowing from that constitution. There's one of them, a politician who probably is looking towards 2027, and so he lumps everything together, change constitution. And then in the same person that price of this, restore this and that, shows that they haven't thought through, they don't know what constitution is, and they think they know. Is it by going to write another constitution over your head that they will change constitution and just do it and then proceed to another election which you want to contest in? That is on the side of those who are planning to protest. Again, on the side of the government that is now worried and looking out for how to find, just saying, oh, you can't come and start trouble now. You can't come and start trouble now. Whereas you were heartless in doing what you are doing to destroy the lives of the people. You share trillions amongst yourself. You share billions amongst yourself. You cruise around in private, and you don't care that the people who own that money cannot feed, and you think they're going to remain obedient to you. And so, again, NINAS is telling the government, the two sides are complicit in refusing to address, to acknowledge what the problem is. The ones who are planning to protest now did not listen when they went to election under that constitution that has produced this calamity they want to protest against now. Because if they had listened, there wouldn't have been an election. We would have gone into a transition. That constitution would have been out of their lives. That constitution that is responsible for everything, tormenting them, would have been out of their lives. And the government too, in 2020, December 16, we rolled out something that provided a framework, a pathway, a mechanism for addressing this problem that's now become a much bigger problem. We gave them 90 days notice to say, let us go and solve this problem. Our quarrel is not with the people in government house. Our quarrel is with the constitution by which they will have to govern, because that constitution makes everything good impossible. You can't have rule of law under a constitution of apartheid. You can't have any good governance.
No.
You can't have any kind of economic progress, because all the means of production, all the factors of production are confiscated by that constitution into the hands of this rapacious federal government that has now been joined gleefully by the executive and judicial branches. And so the two sides that are gearing up for whatever will happen from August 1, Ninas is talking to the two to say there is yet a middle ground that can be pursued now to solve this problem. But there must be a commitment to solving the problem. The ones who are planning to protest, who are not talking about that constitution, that is the source of the problem, they are dishonest as the government that is refusing to listen to what it will take to solve the Nigeria that is now in disarray. It is the unitary constitution of Nigeria that is responsible for everything that has brought Nigeria to where it is.
All right, we'll stop this video here. Brother Tony is coming on X Twitter, aka Twitter, sometime this morning. As soon as we are done, I think shortly after we are done, he will be live. So you will hear from the host.
7 p.m. 7 p.m. Nigerian time.
Okay, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. So he will be there to educate us even more as to what we need to do. We thank God. We thank God for a time like this. Things are happening now. Things are definitely happening. And if you're not in the spirit, you will miss it. You will miss it. You know, the Bible reminded us that we have ears, but we don't hear. We have eyes, but we don't see. And we have all these sensories that we are not even using to our advantage.
Meanwhile, we're not talking about the spirit of Indie Church Nigeria. Those ones, it's not the spirit of God.
Oh, hell, don't have any spirit. Those are paid agents. You know, the same thing. If you think about it, the same thing that these people are doing to us is the same thing they're doing. It's just a copyright. They're using the same strategy they're using against African American here with us. Here in America, you will be, as long as you're black, you're a nobody. But when Olympics comes, man, you will be a representative of America. They will flash you, show you, and all this. But come back, police can easily come in and on our life in your own house. The same thing with the Fulanis. Everywhere you go, the Igbos are doing well. We are developing things. We are known all over the world as the Nigerians. They own the Nigeria. I hate that word, Nigeria. I've never, in the last few years, called myself a Nigerian. I'm from Igbo nation. So you go and represent them everywhere you go. When you come back to Nigeria, they will deal with you. With the help of your brothers, they will deal with you so that you will know that name Nigeria is not what your ancestors need you to answer.
Yep.
We need to do better. So our brother Tony will be on to tell us how we are going to, what we need to do. The answers are already on the table. If you stop sleeping, this thing will end faster than you can imagine. Here is this man again, reminding you guys of what we need to take away this constitution that can never give us peace.
This constitution can never give us progress. This constitution can never give us peace. This constitution can never give us unity. And unfortunately, most of us in this National Assembly, we don't have the spine to face what we need to give this republic to have peace and progress. What do I mean? This constitution has 68 items, 68 on the exclusive list. This constitution has only 12 on the concurrent list, and those 12 are written so nebulously, so fraudulently, that you know that the intention is to even undermine those